You know, there's a reason why it ends with us by Colleen Hoover has taken the world by storm. It's not just another romance novel. It's raw, it's real, and it forces us to confront some brutal truths about love that most of us would rather ignore. And today, we're breaking it all down for you because if you haven't read this book yet, trust me, you need to hear what it exposes about relationships, pain, and healing. The story centers around Lily Bloom, a strong-willed woman who grew up watching her mother endure an abusive marriage. She promised herself she'd never end up like her mom, trapped in a cycle of fear and hurt. But life has a funny way of testing our resolve. When Lily meets Ryle Kincaid, a confident neurosurgeon with a complicated past, she thinks she's found the one. He's charming, ambitious, and seems perfect on paper. But as their relationship deepens, cracks begin to show, and Lily is forced to face a side of Ryle she never saw coming. What makes this book so powerful isn't just its plot, it's how it mirrors reality. According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men experience severe intimate partner violence in their lifetime. These aren't just numbers, these are people, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, friends, who live through situations they often feel powerless to escape. This book shines a light on that uncomfortable truth. Sometimes, love isn't enough. Sometimes, staying in a toxic relationship doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. And that's something Lily struggles with throughout the story. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Enter Atlas Corrigan, Lily's first love. He represents everything Ryle isn't: gentle, understanding, and patient. Their reconnection stirs up old feelings, forcing Lily to question everything she thought she wanted. Now, at this point, you might think this is just another love triangle story, but it's not. The brilliance of it ends with us lies in its ability to make you reflect on your own life. Would you stay in a failing relationship out of fear or obligation? Or would you have the courage to walk away, even when it feels impossible? One scene in particular stands out, a moment so gut-wrenching that readers can't help but pause and take a breath. Without giving too much away, let's just say it's a turning point where Lily realizes she can't keep repeating the same patterns her mother did. That realization hits hard because it's universal. We've all been shaped by the people and experiences around us, whether we admit it or not. And breaking free from those cycles takes more than just willpower. It takes self-awareness, support, and a lot of bravery. Now, here's the twist no one sees coming. Colleen Hoover doesn't paint Ryle as a villain. Instead, she shows him as a flawed human being struggling with his own demons. This complexity challenges readers to look beyond black and white thinking. Abuse isn't always loud and obvious. It can be subtle, hidden behind closed doors, masked by apologies and promises to change. By portraying Ryle this way, the book forces us to confront a difficult question. How do we hold someone accountable while still recognizing their humanity? And then there's Lily's journey toward healing. Spoiler alert, it's messy. There's no magical solution, no quick fix. Healing is hard work, and it requires facing pain head-on. But what makes this story so impactful is its message of hope. Yes, love can break you, but it can also rebuild you, if you let it. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a situation where you knew deep down that something wasn't right, but you stayed anyway? Maybe it was a relationship, a job, or even a friendship. You told yourself, it'll get better, or I can fix this. But the truth is, sometimes we stay not because we don't see the problem. We stay because leaving feels harder. That's exactly what Lily grapples with throughout It Ends With Us. And if you've ever felt stuck in your own life, her story will hit you like a punch to the gut. One of the most powerful aspects of the book is how it normalizes the confusion and guilt that often come with making tough decisions. Lily loves Ryle. There's no denying that. But love alone doesn't erase harm. In fact, studies show that emotional abuse can be just as damaging as physical abuse, leaving scars that take years to heal. Yet society often tells us to fight for love at all costs, to forgive and forget. Colleen Hoover flips that narrative on its head by showing us that walking away isn't failure, it's survival. It's choosing yourself when the world tries to convince you otherwise. But here's the thing about survival, it's messy. There's no clear roadmap, no step-by-step guide to healing. For Lily, Part of her journey involves reconnecting with Atlas, the boy who once saved her from her darkest days. Their bond is magnetic, built on shared pain and mutual understanding. Atlas represents safety, stability, and unconditional support, the kind of love everyone deserves but few actually find. Yet even he can't magically erase the trauma Lily carries. Healing isn't about finding someone new, it's about becoming whole again on your own terms. And that's where the book truly shines. It reminds us that growth doesn't happen overnight. Lily makes mistakes, big ones, and she faces consequences for them. She second-guesses herself, falls back into old patterns, and wrestles with guilt over hurting people she cares about. But isn't that how life works? Real change is rarely linear. It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and sometimes standing still just to catch your breath. The beauty of It Ends With Us is that it doesn't sugarcoat this process. It shows us the ugly, uncomfortable parts of healing because those are the moments that shape us the most. Let's talk about Ryle for a minute, though. As much as we want to hate him, the book forces us to see him as more than just the bad guy. He's a product of his upbringing, his insecurities, and his inability to process emotions in healthy ways. This complexity challenges readers to think critically about accountability. Should we excuse harmful behavior just because someone had a difficult past? Absolutely not. But understanding why someone acts the way they do doesn't mean condoning their actions. It means acknowledging the bigger picture. Abuse thrives in silence, and breaking that cycle starts with having honest conversations, even when they're uncomfortable. Now, here's the part of the story that really gets under your skin, the ending. Without giving too much away, let's just say it leaves you with a mix of hope and heartbreak. Because that's real life, isn't it? Happy endings don't always look like fairy tales. Sometimes, they're quieter, messier, and harder-earned. What matters is that Lily finally takes control of her narrative. She chooses herself, her future, and the life she wants to build, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. This brings me to one of the key takeaways from the book: boundaries. Setting boundaries isn't easy, especially when you care about someone deeply. But it's necessary. According to psychologist Dr. Henry Cloud, author of Boundaries, learning to say no is crucial for maintaining healthy relationships and protecting your mental health. Lily's journey teaches us that boundaries aren't walls, they're bridges to healthier connections. They allow us to give without losing ourselves in the process. So, what can we learn from It Ends With Us? First, love shouldn't cost you your peace. Second, healing is a marathon, not a sprint. And third, courage isn't about never being afraid, it's about doing what's right even when fear tries to hold you back. These lessons resonate deeply because they apply to all areas of life, not just romantic relationships. Whether you're navigating friendships, family dynamics, or career challenges, the principles remain the same. Know your worth, set your limits, and don't settle for less than you deserve. Alright, let's dive deeper into the heart of It Ends With Us and unpack its most profound lessons, because this book isn't just a story, it's a mirror reflecting our own struggles, choices, and potential for growth. One of the most striking aspects of Lily's journey is how she learns to redefine what love truly means. For so long, she believed that loving someone meant enduring their pain alongside them, even if it meant sacrificing her own well-being. This belief, shaped by years of witnessing her mother's suffering, became ingrained in her identity. And honestly, how many of us can relate to that? We grow up thinking that love is about sacrifice, that it's noble to endure hardship for the sake of someone else's happiness. But here's the brutal truth: love should never demand your destruction. Real love uplifts you. It challenges you to be better, not break you down. Lily's realization hits hard because it forces us to confront our own misconceptions about relationships. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Family Violence found that individuals who grew up in households with domestic violence are 3 times more likely to experience similar patterns in adulthood. These cycles don't just happen, they're learned behaviors passed down through generations. What makes It Ends With Us so impactful is that it doesn't shy away from this reality. Instead, it shines a light on the importance of breaking those cycles, no matter how painful or difficult it may feel. Now, let's talk about one of the most pivotal moments in the book: the scene where Lily finally decides to leave Ryle. This decision doesn't come easily. In fact, it takes multiple incidents, sleepless nights, and countless tears before she reaches her breaking point. And here's why this moment resonates so deeply. It reminds us that leaving isn't cowardice, it's courage. Society often glorifies perseverance in relationships, framing it as a sign of strength. But staying in a toxic situation out of fear or guilt, that's not strength, it's survival mode. Walking away, on the other hand, requires facing uncertainty head-on. It means trusting yourself enough to believe that you deserve better, even when the world tells you otherwise. What's fascinating about this turning point is how it highlights the power of self-awareness. Throughout the book, Lily wrestles with conflicting emotions: love, anger, guilt, hope, and each one pulls her in a different direction. But ultimately, it's her ability to recognize her own worth that allows her to make the hardest decision of her life. Self-awareness isn't something we're born with, it's a skill we develop over time. According to psychologist Daniel Goleman, author of Emotional Intelligence, self-awareness is the foundation of personal growth. Without it, we remain trapped in destructive patterns, unable to see the bigger picture. Lily's transformation serves as a powerful reminder that understanding yourself is the first step toward reclaiming your life. But here's the twist: leaving isn't the end of the story. In fact, it's only the beginning. After Lily makes her choice, she faces a new set of challenges: loneliness, judgment, and the lingering scars of her past. This part of the narrative is crucial because it debunks the myth of the happily ever after. Life doesn't magically fix itself once you walk away from a toxic relationship. Healing is ongoing, messy, and nonlinear. Some days you'll feel empowered. Other days, you'll doubt every decision you've made. And that's okay. Growth isn't about perfection, it's about progress. This brings me to another key theme in the book: forgiveness. Not forgiveness for others, but forgiveness for yourself. Lily carries immense guilt throughout the story, not just for leaving Ryle, but for the pain she causes along the way. She questions whether she's a good person, whether she deserves happiness after everything she's done. Sound familiar? So many of us struggle with self-forgiveness, especially when we make decisions that hurt others. But here's the thing: forgiving yourself doesn't mean excusing your actions. It means accepting that you're human, that you've made mistakes, and that you have the power to move forward despite them. Research from Stanford University shows that self-compassion plays a critical role in mental health recovery. By practicing kindness toward ourselves, we create space for healing and transformation. And then there's Atlas. He represents redemption in its purest form, a reminder that people can change, that love can evolve, and that second chances are possible. But here's the catch: Atlas isn't Lily's savior. Yes, he supports her, loves her, and stands by her side, but he doesn't fix her. That's a common misconception in stories like this, that the hero swoops in and solves all the problems. But Colleen Hoover avoids that trope entirely. Instead, she emphasizes that true love empowers you to save yourself. Atlas gives Lily stability, but it's her own strength that carries her through. By the end of the book, Lily emerges as a symbol of resilience. She's not the same girl who fell in love with Ryle or the scared teenager who ran away with Atlas. She's someone entirely new, stronger, wiser, and unapologetically herself. Her journey teaches us that while love can shape us, it shouldn't define us. Our identities aren't tied to the people we choose to love, they're rooted in who we are as individuals. This message is universal, transcending cultures, backgrounds, and experiences. Whether you're navigating heartbreak, rebuilding trust, or simply trying to find your footing, Lily's story offers a roadmap for reclaiming your power. So, what's the ultimate lesson here? Love isn't black and white. It's complicated, messy, and sometimes heartbreaking. But it's also beautiful, transformative, and full of possibility. The key is knowing when to hold on and when to let go. As Lily discovers, ending something doesn't mean it was meaningless. It means it served its purpose. Every chapter of our lives, no matter how painful, shapes us into the people we're meant to become. Do you want to create a big change in your life but can't seem to find the right path? If yes, then The Self-Made Millionaire Zero to Wealth is the book that has the power to turn your dreams into reality. When we read this book, it felt like every page was revealing our hidden potential. It holds all the secrets that highly successful people have learned on their journeys. If you want to unlock the true power of your mind and reach the heights of success, then this book is for you. To get it absolutely free, hit subscribe and comment book below right now.